Good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing well. Today, I will be discussing my research paper, which is on an intelligence profile based on Italy's intelligence system for the security of the Republic, which is also known as SISR. So on today's agenda, we will be discussing my research question, my thesis, the key concepts, background information, the importance of SISR's national security and intelligence, as well as their international security and intelligence. Then we will discuss the critical analysis and ending things off with a conclusion, questions, and discussion. So the research question is the Italian intelligence system for the security of the Republic, SISR, now a legitimate and reliable intelligence and security organization for its allied nations as well as the international intelligence community? The thesis statement is the reforms that were implemented ensure the legitimacy of Italy's intelligence and security agencies for both allied nations and international intelligence community. The reforms that have been made to SISR have increased the role of Italian intelligence within the international intelligence community. So the key concepts with regards to this broad research topic are: who is the SISR? What is the SISR's role with regards to Italy's security and intelligence? And what impact does SISR have on the international security and intelligence community? So just to provide you with some background information, the Italian intelligence agencies have been reorganized many times since the Italian Republic's birth, originally in 1946, and this is due to numerous internal scandals. In 1974, there was the arrest of a former chief of SID, which was General Vito Michelli, for conspiracy against the state following the attempted coup that occurred. Then in the early 2000s, the SISMI became again the target of national controversy, leading to the resignation of its chief, who was Niccolo Paleri. This occurred in 2006 after his indictment in the Ima Rapido affair, which concerned the kidnapping of Abu Omar in Milan in 2003. The SISMI was also implicated in the Niger uranium forgery scandal, during which the SISMI agents transmitted false documents to US governance, which at this time fell under President George W. Bush. And these were used as main pretexts in the invasion of Iraq. Then in 2007, Italian magistrates searching the SISMI's headquarters found documents proving that the intelligence agency had spied over various European magistrates between the time of 2001 to 2006. This was considered as carrying destabilization potential, and it provided a really bad outlook on the agency's overall appeal to the European Union, which they were at the time part of and still are today. After what happened in 2007, the Prime Minister, as well as the government of Italy, decided to completely create a new reform under their intelligence wing. So the Legislative Act number 124 of 2007 created a new information system for security, which was SISR, and that placed intelligence agencies more closely under the Prime Minister's supervision, which they weren't previously. And the Prime Minister is then responsible for nominating directors and deputy directors for each of the new agencies, which again did not occur previous to this reform. So who is the SISR? The Legislative Act number 124 of 2007, which we just previously discussed, was created as a new and improved SISR, which placed all Italian intelligence agencies under the full supervision of the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister is responsible for nominating directors and deputy directors for each of these agencies, as previously discussed. The authorities and organizations are responsible for Italy's intelligence policies, intelligence coordination, as well as intelligence operations. The SISR responsibilities are divided amongst 6 different departments. So the first is the President of the Council of Ministers, then it's delegated authority, followed by CISR, which is the Interministerial Committee for the Security of the Republic. Then there's the DIS, which is Security Intelligence Department, the AISE, which is External Intelligence and Security. Then there's the AISI, which is Internal Intelligence and Security. So what is SISR's role within its national security and intelligence? So the intelligence services may use surveillance methods only to ensure the defense of the independence, integrity, and security of the Republic from foreign threats, or the defense of internal security of the Republic and its democratic institutions from all kinds of threats, subversive activity, and forms of criminal or terrorist aggressions. So the 2 different departments that are, I guess I would say, the head of national and like domestic security intelligence means is the AISE as well as the AISI. So the AISE, which is labeled under Article 6 of Law 124, has the task of researching and developing all the necessary information to defend the independence, integrity, and security of Italy from threats from abroad, including the implementation of internal agreements. The AISE also performs activities in the field of counter-proliferation of nuclear materials or materials found to be strategic, and information activities for security outside Italian national territory to protect Italian political, military, economic, scientific, and industrial interests, as well as detecting outside the national territory espionage activities directed against Italy and activities aimed at damaging national interests. Now, as for the AISI, they fall under the same Article 6 of Law 124, and they are tasked with researching and developing all the necessary information to defend the independence, integrity, and security of Italy from domestic threats. So AISI performs intelligence research with regards to domestic terrorism, and they work alongside Italian law enforcement, such as the Carabinieri, which is really hard to pronounce, which is the National Gendarmerie. I know I'm butchering that, but again, these are all names in Italian and they don't have necessarily like translations. And then there's the Polizia di Stato, and which is like the civilian police, and the Guardia di Finanza, which is the military police force that deals with financial crime, smuggling, and illegal drug trade. So essentially the AISI just works alongside all police forces within the nation of Italy. Now, as for SISR's international impact, they are the point of contact in intelligence crisis situations involving the EU, the UN, NATO, as well as other international organizations and countries. So in particular, within the EU, they are under the Intelligence and Situation Center, which is, again, an acronym of EU INTCEN. So they are an intelligence body of the External Action Service EEAS of the EU under the authority of the EU's High Representative. So the EUINTCEN has its roots in the European Security and Defense Policy, which was then called the Joint Situations Center. So in 2002, the Joint Situations Center started to be a form of exchange of sensitive information between the external intelligence services of France, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Spain, Sweden, and the UK. And the center's mission is to contribute to early warning in conjunction with other council military staff through open source material, military and non-military intelligence and diplomatic reporting. They conduct situation monitoring and assessment. They provide facilities for crisis task force, and they provide an operational point of contact for the High Representative. As for UN intelligence, the UN intelligence agency's primary mission is to collect, evaluate, and disseminate terrorist intelligence to assist the UN Secretary General, the UN Secretary Council, and its Counterterrorism Committee in making decisions relating to international peace and security. So SISR is Italy's contribution to the UN intelligence, and they provide OSINT, ELENT, SIGINT, IMINT, MASINT, HUMINT to the UN. So they essentially provide all of their resources to the UN if the UN seeks their aid. The SISR intelligence is considered an asset for the UN with regards to terrorism intel. In previous history, that is the largest form of intel that the EU, the UN, and NATO typically take from Italy. As for NATO intelligence, a shared effort of the Five Eyes nations with regards to SIGINT shares with third parties, including Italy. So SISR provides all forms of surveillance and intelligence as previously stated with the UN. They provide that as well to NATO. And they also provide any additional information with regards to the threat of terrorism in particular. And then since joining NATO, Italy's intelligence agencies have provided intel with regards to terrorism stemming from the Middle East. So in your early 2000s, they had a key role in providing terrorist intel to both NATO and the UN. So the critical analysis is that the double structure of the two agencies, which is AISI and AISE, they have a clear division of tasks with incisive inspection and management power by the DIS, which has allowed for the creation of an efficient and effective intelligence system. The Italian COPASIR is legally obligated to regularly publish reports, which then promotes transparency by regularly informing Parliament and the Republic about Parliamentary Oversight Committee's work. The Italian intelligence underwent a major transparency effort with regards to its secrecy, so that today there is an entire informational infrastructure that allows the Italian public to keep track of what the Italian agencies are, how they work, and under which legal framework they operate. The Italian intelligence community today is a modern shield against current threats like terrorism, proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, hybrid threats, etc., which properly reformed to meet the requirements of the growing technological age. The implementation of a new action plan, which was put in place by SISR in March of 2017, has over 10 different sections of reform, but I've picked out 4 key ones that I think show the most crucial transition and reform of the entire agency. Section 1 is reinforcing intelligence, law enforcement, and defensive capabilities. Section 4 is international cooperation and exercises. Section 6 is updating cybersecurity legislation and managing compliance at international levels. And Section 8, which is supporting industrial and technological development within the security and intelligence sector. So in my conclusion and questions, I do have one key question to prompt discussion, and that is, does the SISR now hold enough legitimacy to be a key intel contributor within the security and intelligence community, or do they still remain illegitimate as past history? And then if you guys have any questions, I am free to answer those now. Thank you very much.